As the destroyer escort program ramped up, there simply weren't enough marine diesel engines to equip them all in the quantity desired. In addition to the hundreds of DEs planned, they were also being used in submarines and a myriad of other ships. Added to that, while the 20 knots of the Everett's was quite adequate for the job, the Navy wanted faster ships, which would require more or more powerful engines per hull. As a result, the Navy started a new design that used steam-powered turboelectric or TE machinery. The use of turboelectric machinery caused their weight to jump and required a longer hull be used. These were the 1,400-ton Buckley class, or TE type. 44 additional ships were built under Lend-Lease for the British. 111 Buckleys were commissioned starting in mid-1943. Main armament was similar to the Everett's. Three 3-inch 50 caliber dual-purpose guns in single open mounts. 2 depth charge rails were at the stern, and up to 8 depth charge launchers were fitted. 1 Hedgehog was mounted behind the forward 3-inch gun. Finally, a triple-tube torpedo mount was fitted behind the funnel. For propulsion, they had 2 boilers venting to 1 funnel. These provided power to 2 motors that generated 12,000 horsepower to 2 shafts, giving them a top speed of 24 knots. Like all escort destroyers, they had 2 rudders. 37 were converted and 6 completed as destroyer transports, or APDs, starting in early 1944. This was mostly due to the diminishing role of the U-boats in the Atlantic and the growing need for troop transports in the Pacific as the U.S.'s island-hopping strategy grew in scope. Again, the conversion was fairly simple. The forward 3-inch guns and Hedgehog were replaced by a single 5-inch 38 caliber dual-purpose turreted gun. The torpedo tubes and depth charge launchers were replaced by 2 pairs of midship davits, a pair on either side. These allowed the ships to carry 4 LCVP 36-foot landing craft for 160 troops and their equipment. The depth charge rails at the rear were retained in case they needed to engage enemy subs. As was the norm, all ships constantly had their light and medium anti-aircraft increased, often at the expense of their torpedo tubes, along with radar. Probably the most famous ship of this class was USS England. During a 12-day span in May 1944, she sunk 6 Japanese submarines, all with Hedgehog. Continuing the fight, on May 9, 1945, while covering the invasion of Okinawa, she was hit by a kamikaze. The damage was severe, and she was deemed not worth repairing. She was named in honor of Ensign John C. England, who died December 7th on the battleship Oklahoma while trying to rescue people from the stricken battleship's radio room. He died never having met his 3-week-old daughter. 4 Buckleys were sunk during World War II. Fetchteller broke in 2 and sunk after being hit by a U-boat torpedo May 5, 1944, while escorting a convoy in the Mediterranean. Rich hit 3 mines June 8, 1944, while coming to the aid of Glennon during the Normandy invasion. The first did minor damage. The second blew her stern off. The third finished her. She sank in 40 feet of water and was stripped and scrapped post-war. Bates was hit by a kamikaze and 2 near misses off Okinawa May 25, 1945, after being converted to an APD. Later that day, with her hull ruptured and still on fire, she capsized and sank while being towed. Underhill was hit by a Khitan kamikaze torpedo July 24, 1945, near Cape Engano. Blown in half, she was scuttled.